Okay, getting everything set up. Let's step back, get the volume right. Okay. Alright, test. Oh my god, there's so much echo. Hello YouTube, welcome to the video. I am the Bit Scholar, and today I want to talk about a game called My Lovely Daughter. In wait a minute. In this game, you play as Faust, a young alchemist who is awoken without any of his memories and has discovered the decaying corpse of his daughter in bed. He also finds a book filled with notes on alchemy. Unfortunately, he can't read any of it because it's enchanted by plot magic, the most powerful in the universe. You use whatever spare parts you have lying around in order to create various homunculi, which you then send into the nearest village to do all sorts of odd jobs for money. Well, you get money. Like any good intern, they get paid in experience. When you feel your homunculus has enough experience, you get to brutally murder her in order to siphon her affinity into your daughter's soul. The objective of the game is to find the correct balance of the four affinities, joy, anger, sadness, and fear, in order to reanimate your daughter. Now, I'm not here to review this game necessarily. Instead, I want to talk about how this game is a brilliant example of using mechanics as a metaphor. See, alchemy itself is its own spiritual metaphor, meant to be taken more of a guidance than an applied science. Alchemy is actually a combination of Western and Eastern philosophies kind of coming together to form this mesh of spiritual succession. One of the main components of alchemy, in fact, is the balance between the four elements. Sound familiar? In this game especially, the focus is on Homunculus, which is a recreation of an artificial life form. In many instances where homunculi are applied, most notably in Full Metal Alchemist, the homunculus is meant to be a metaphor for the circle of life. Every beginning is a new end, and every end is a new beginning. Does that seem stupid? That seemed really stupid. And that's exactly what's happening in this game. Every time you create a new homunculus, you're effectively destroying the components that you're used to make it. And the quality of those components can actually determine the starting level of each homunculus. You can also translate this back the other way, where every time you destroy a homunculus for your daughter's soul, the level of the homunculus determines how much of that affinity is applied to the soul. One of the heavy themes of this game is centered around this topic of how far are you willing to go? What are you willing to end? And what are you willing to destroy in order to create what you're looking for? That's also a major point for alchemy itself, two of the major components of which are finding the elixir for eternal life and also the ability to transmute lead into gold. Infinite wealth, infinite life, granting infinite power. So is that what Faust is after? Infinite power? If we take a look at this, he's trying to defy life and death, a theme that goes throughout many mythologies. And this can actually give us a little bit of a window into Faust's character. Who is Faust? Who is this character you're playing? Most of the game is played through novel of sorts. All the interactions are met with dialogue. We see three different kinds of dialogue throughout this game. Faust and the homunculi, Faust and the villagers, and the narrator explaining the sequence of events. Faust's interactions with the villagers are often just an information well, telling you a little bit of the world building, some helpful hints on how to progress. Sometimes, though, the villagers give Faust a bit of information that's more of a reflection on Faust. Each of the villagers has a little piece of Faust within them, and when you combine them all together, you paint the full picture. Well, at least the picture they're allowed to paint. This is reflected in the game through unlocking memories. Remember in the beginning how Faust had amnesia? Well, you get those memories back by interacting with the other villagers. And through the past, we see that Faust is a little bit paranoid, very insecure. A lot of the dialogue revolves around not trusting the people around him, not finding solace in his work that he's able to do, and wishing to improve his ability and his standing in life. And of course, the way he does that is through his alchemy and his homunculi. And they give their own very interesting window. Throughout the game, Faust often is depicted as this fatherly figure. Oftentimes, the homunculi will leave notes that the player can go back to and read over. Most of the notes revolve around the idea of some major theme. Part of their transformation is giving them some problems. Some of them start asking questions about what's happening to the other sisters. And there's never a response to these letters. They're always left for the player to fill in the blanks. So naturally, the player is to assume that he's a caring, fatherly figure. The game actually rewards this kind of input, where making the homunculus as happy as possible increases their work ethic and therefore the money that they give you. But in the end, all of these interactions ultimately end the same, the homunculus being sacrificed, which is where our third interaction comes in, the narration. Every time a homunculus is sacrificed, there's a dialogue describing exactly how it happens. And oftentimes, Faust takes a almost sinister pleasure from it. Like he's glad to have gotten rid of this thing. He often talks about the faults in the design of the homunculus and all the things that he didn't like about it. And each time a ritual is performed in order to put the soul back into his daughter, there's a different ending that can play out based on the current balance of the affinities. Obviously, more often than not, they end in failure. But that's the interesting thing. He refers to them as experiments. See, the way I played this game was tackling it like a Sudoku puzzle. Try this combination, and if that doesn't work, we can't use that, so we use this combination. And I believe that's the way the game expects Faust to do this too. He refers to each thing as an experiment, which gives me the idea that it wasn't meant to succeed right then and there. He's tackling this in a cold, calculated fashion, and the ending only confirms that thesis. Oh god, the ending. So without going into too much detail of the convoluted events that take place, it's revealed that Faust is his own source of pain. He's trapped himself in a vicious cycle where all he can do is relive this same terror over and over again. It's also revealed that it's not his family that he's trying to gain. It is power. It's not sadness of missing his daughter that's motivating him to do this. It's anger. He was fooled. He was tricked, and he's mad about it. He's disappointed that someone was better than him. He's disappointed that he doesn't have control over the universe. And now he's on a path where he will destroy everything and anything that gets in his way. Everything in this game is simply a means to an end for a selfish goal. And all that selfish goal provides is pain. He has trapped himself in a cycle where the only way out is death. Well, that got dark. Here's a picture of a puppy to make you feel better. Isn't she adorable? All in all, this is a difficult game to recommend. The playstyle is very niche. I can imagine the dark tones can turn some people away. And one of the most fun aspects of it, doing the science stuff to combine all the ingredients to see what it makes, it's fairly limited. But even with a twist ending that M. Night Shyamalan would be proud of, this game provides an excellent view in an interesting storytelling technique that we can only really see in this new kind of medium. And so I award My Lovely Daughter with the storyteller's seal of approval. And that's what I got. Please be sure to tell me what you disagree with in the comments. Be sure to like and subscribe to keep the bell ringing. And be sure to join me on my next video when I tackle one of the greatest disappointments of 2016. See you then.